Hello, motherfuckers, and welcome back. This is the Late Slate with your Highness. Normally, we do the hat tricks, we do the hardwood, but we got a little bit different on Friday. We're going to bring in some other experts as well. All right. To get into it, we're going to do a little bit of NHL. We got some UFC, and then also, I believe Marc Tiggs has a college basketball play for us as well. If you don't know who I am, professional shit talker, sports bettor, and the only man alive, I think, that can roll a joint and roll on an underdog. Holla at the same time. All right, tonight's slate, it's a little filthy. It's a little dirty. We got the hockey to hoops. We got two marks, two experts, and two different tax brackets. Don't tell them. Marc G is our UFC hitman, and Marc T is our real analytical. Let's just say he likes anal folks. He might be watching. All right. Marc T is our real analytical guy, though. He gets into the numbers, crunch the trends. He's got every system, everything. You got it. So if you want the data, he's your guy. All right. And I'm just a pretty face with a pretty mouth. At least that's what they tell me when I'm incarcerated. All right. Let's break down the slate. Getting into the NHL, I'm not going to deep dive into too much of this, but the NHL, we do have 5 games on the docket. I'm going to rip through these pretty quick here for you folks. So the first game up we do have is the Las Vegas Golden Knights, and they are taking on the New Jersey Devils. The grade on this is going to be Las Vegas Golden Knights +7. You should see the grading scale there on the screen. And again, anytime we have a favorite of a +5.5 to +8, that is recommended as the puck line play. So the recommended play on that would be the puck line play. The second game on the docket we do have is the Buffalo Sabres in the Winnipeg Jets. Look, you already got a shout out there in the comments there, tweeting it, Teddy, from B. Scott. Anyways, we do have a push. A push is going to be the grade on the Sabres Jets game. Again, if you look at our grading scale, it's going to be a no bet. These first 2 games, I'm not touching the over-under on as well. Moving on to the San Jose Sharks Dallas Stars game. We do have the Dallas Stars as a +3.5 grade. If you look there on the scale, Dallas is the favorite. 3.5 should be a money line. I don't have the odds in front of me, but if I remember correctly, that is very juiced for Dallas. So again, I won't be playing that just because of the odds. But if you're trying to sneak something into a parlay, I guess the play is, it's -280. That's way too steep, and it's not a strong enough play. The Sharks are a little tricky team at times, even though they're one of the worst teams in the NHL. So just be careful there with the Dallas Stars. Utah and Vancouver is the 4th game on the slate. We do have Utah as a +3.5 grade. Again, if you look at the scale, Utah is the favorite. 3.5 would be a money line play. So the recommended play on that would be Utah money line. Again, not touching over-under. This last game is going to be the only game we're going to get into the over-under. And that is the Washington Capitals and the Anaheim Mighty Ducks. That is the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, Southern LA region. Not Los Angeles, folks. All right, Washington is +2.5 grade. Again, they are the favorite. 2.5 grade. If you look, that's a no bet. If you don't follow hockey, or if you've casually follow hockey, you probably think the Anaheim Ducks are a terrible team. And they have been. And they have been for a long time. This is their year where they start to make some waves. They might sneak into the playoffs, but depending on how they keep the roster conformed for next year, I would think that the Anaheim Ducks are a solid preseason bet for next year to make the playoffs. I like the way they're trending. So look for Washington to have to go across the country all the way from the East Coast to the West Coast, play a late night game. Again, that's a 10 p.m. puck drop for you on the East Coast. So again, just Washington probably wins the game. I don't love them on the puck line, which is probably the right value. What we're going to focus in on the over-under in this game. The over-under line is 6.5. It is a slight juicy. I think 115 to 120 is where you can get to most places. But if you followed or you tune in, I guess, to Wednesday's show, and I kind of went over how I went over the over-under grades for these hockey games, is I break it down by expected goals for, expected goals against, actual goals for, actual goal against. I break it up into 4 quadrants. You have good, fun, boring, and bad for the expected goals. And so when I go first into it, and for instance, for the Washington game and the Anaheim game, both these teams fall into what I call the and I just went totally brain fart. Don't go brain fart on live television. Don't smoke too much weed. This happens too. They're both in the fun category. Washington Capitals, Anaheim Ducks are both in the fun category. And simply what that means is that their expected goals for and expected goals against is higher than the league average. So both those teams are in the fun category. But that's expected. And again, what's expected in reality is not always the case. So we like to look at actual goals. And then both of these teams fall into what is called the good category. Now, with actual goals, what the good category means is that they're basically just hitting or achieving their expected goal marks, not higher, not lower, right? Because you could have lucky and unlucky in there too, which means they're overachieving or underachieving, or bad, which means they're expected to score little goals and they do score little goals. So both these teams are good, which means they're high goal scoring teams. They're expected to score high scoring teams, and they are actually high scoring teams. I don't want to get too crazy with you folks, but for all 5 or 6 of you watching, go heavy. And if you're in the community, I think I put this out as like a 4-unit play. Go heavy. This is, and right or wrong, this is probably the best grade I've had. I almost said 7.5 should be the line. And really, frankly, I think 7 should be the line. You may never see a 7.5 line in a hockey game. The actual line in this game should be an even 7. If you want to sprinkle over 7.5 because you're feeling froggy, jump. But again, if this game ends up with 3 goals, shit the bed, Fred. That's the way it works. But I've never felt more confident based upon the rating system, the grades, and the data I have that the Washington Capitals and the Anaheim Ducks game should go over 6.5 goals. That is what it is. All right, so that is all 5 NHL games on the slate tonight. We are going to jump in then to our We Win, You Win experts. We do have 2 of them with us today. We do have Marc Tiggs, which, again, he's a very analytical guy. He likes to bring in a lot of the data, the numbers, which I love. And so let's tee up the intro video there, Ted, and let's bring on the We Win, You Win experts. These guys are the best of the best. And when I mean the fucking best of the best, I mean the fucking best I could fucking find for free. And most of these fucks know what they're doing. Now, do I agree with every one of these fucks? No, I don't agree with every one of these fucks. But stick with them, you'll be all right. They're going to take you to the right place, show you the right things, and do the right things. All right. So let's get into it again. We got 2 of them with us. We got Marc Tiggs and Marc Gutierrez. Marc Gutierrez is going to handle our UFC. Marc Tiggs, I believe, has a college basketball play. But Marc Tiggs, go ahead and take it away.
With another college football winner for you for tomorrow, Saturday, December 6th. This winner is going to be in the MAC championship game, first game of the day tomorrow on the college football slate. Looking at the total in this game between Miami, Ohio, and Western Michigan, got a total currently sitting at 43.5, juiced a little bit to the under, around minus 115 at most shops. That's what we're going to be looking at. We're looking at the under in this game. Got a great system on this. Basically based on neutral fields and without real high totals. Games on neutral field, so championship games basically, with a closing total range between 42 and 56, so no high totals, and the spread is just an average spread, basically just a spread of either between minus 9.5 and plus 9.5. When the public is on one side, the unders in those games hit at 107 and 62 for 63%. It's a 22.1% ROI since 2004. Another reason I like this game, the model makes it 39.4, so that gives us about 4 points of play. Along with that, DeQuan Finn, the quarterback QB1 for Miami, Ohio, probably the best player on either side of the field, is no longer with the team. He's in NFL draft prep, no longer with the school. But if you look at their previous game when he did play between these two teams, that landed in Miami, Ohio, 26-17 over Western Michigan. So that's 43. Now without their QB1 on a neutral field, this is going under. Good luck, guys.
All right, so that's Mark Tiggs. Like I said, I'm sorry. I thought he was giving us a college basketball play. It's a college football play for Saturday, the MAC championship game. He likes under 43.5 points. I actually do not hate this. So I do my own college grades as well. And actually, I wasn't planning on doing this, but I think I have them right here. So let's pull them up real quick and just see what I had that over-under game at as well. So on the MAC championship game, I have this game coming in somewhere between 46 and 48.5. So I actually think the game might go slightly over, but again, I don't have a strong read either way. Follow my man, Mark. He is very data-driven, and I absolutely love what he brings to the community. But without further ado, it's time for a little UFC with Marc G. Marc G, go ahead.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Marc G with WeWinYouWin.com coming to you with our best bet for UFC 323. We have a prelim fight, Muhammad Naimov versus Mariano Santos. I think it's going to be mainly a striking fight. So we have Mariano Santos, who lands 3.5 strikes per minute, absorbs a little less than 2.5 strikes per minute. Naimov lands 2.5 strikes per minute, absorbs more than 3.5 strikes per minute. If you look at the strike defense, Santos is up at about 65%, and you have Naimov at 45%. So we're going to go with the better striker here. Now, Santos is a minus 260 favorite. So, of course, we don't do bets like that here at WeWinYouWin.com. What we do is we're going to play him Marino Santos by decision. I think Naimov is he's going to, if he gets in trouble, he's going to hold Santos against the cage. Luckily, this fight is in Vegas, where the judges do not judge that very well. They judge damage. They judge striking better, and just holding somebody against the cage will not get you a win. So we're going to go with Santos here by decision. Now, I've shopped around and I found it at plus 100. Some books have it at minus 110. I saw it as high as minus 115. So remember, like we always say, shop those lines and you'll be able to get it at plus money. Also, head over to WeWinYouWin.com. Join up, because I'm sure we're going to have a lot more bets for this fight, in particular when the strike lines drop, takedowns drop, and we're going to have a whole slate of picks for this weekend. All right? Peace.
All right, guys, that's Marc G with our UFC plays. A little factoid there for those that don't know. Marc G's, I believe, uncle was one of the original fighters in one of the way back earlier times there, 20-some years ago with UFC. So he still has some connections and insight there. I know he does email Herb Dean, one of the officials there, occasionally as well. He stays in contact there. So we definitely have maybe a slight inside scoop with Marc G, so we like to lean on that, and we appreciate his time coming on and blessing you with his knowledge. All right, folks, that's going to pretty much wrap up the show. I've got 3 official plays for you. If you're feeling froggy, jump, maybe parlay them. Whoop, don't parlay, straight bet these things, folks. All right, so Mark T is bringing with you the MAC championship under. He likes that under as his official play. Mark T has got Santos by decision, and that could be an even money play. And then we're going to throw in my little Friday night, late night delay, 10 p.m. Eastern puck drop for you on the East Coast, folks. And we're going to go over 6.5 goals on the Washington Capitals, Anaheim Ducks. If you're feeling froggy, jump on that one, folks. I'm telling you, right or wrong, the confidence for me on that is very, very high. It was one of the only grades I've had this year so far where I actually almost put it down as the over-under line should be 7. So best of luck to everybody. If you haven't signed up for Christmas Day Squares, go ahead and do so. It's $42 to enter. We already have roughly about 30 or so squares sold. There's a $500 reverse raffle. If you sign up before the 11th, you double your raffle tickets. But again, we're going to try to do this show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Fridays will be the short version where we bring on the other experts. And Monday, Wednesday will be a little bit longer. We do our best to come on live at 4:20 Eastern each day. But again, Sometimes you got to smoke and talk before the show. It takes extra time. Till next time, jump on the right foot, do the wrong thing, fit in where you get in. And sometimes some of you motherfuckers got to spin around and put it in the brown. All right. Till next time, peace and love. I'm outie.